Hi everyone, I'm Timtik and today I will show you how to set up Twitcher in Godot. So first things first, what you need to do is install Twitcher, obviously. You can do this via the asset lib like this, or what I would prefer to do and would actually recommend if you want more of the latest changes, because this one is a stable build. This only gets updated once in a while, once we're fully sure that it's a stable version. But you can also go into GitHub and get from the main branch from master. It's still called master, but yeah, main branch, and pull it into your stuff. So what you can either do is just download the zip file, and if you're more familiar with working with GitHub, you can also just clone it into your folder like this. And then what you would do is over here, in this case I don't have a folder yet, so make the add-on folder. And in there you put the Twitcher folder from this one. Oh yeah, I could just have dragged the add-ons in there. Copy here. And that's how your setup should be looking like. And if you load in, there it is, Twitcher. Next step is to go into project settings, go to your plugins and enable Twitcher. It will immediately welcome you with a pop-up. Um, Depending on what version you're on, this pop-up might be looking different because I know that Kani is now working on a new pop-up, but in the older versions, this is the pop-up you would get. I'll also make a new tutorial when the new setup version is there, so you also know how to set up that one. Right, depending on what you would like to use, you can choose either between an overlay, a game, or something else. For this tutorial, either is fine, but I'm just gonna go for overlay anyway because it has more scopes, makes it a little bit more easier to do. And then also make sure to save your scopes. It's generally also a good idea to put your scope somewhere else, but for this case, because it's your add-on, your editor anyway, it's fine. Just know every time you would update Twitcher manually, this would cause an issue because it can be overwritten, and especially if you remove your folder, yeah, it will be gone. So in those cases, I would recommend you saving it somewhere else in your either user files or somewhere on your PC itself. On next page, you'll see authorization, and you'll see client ID, client secret, and the redirect URL. These will be empty for you normally, unless you've used Twitch before. But what you need to go is into your Twitcher dashboard. You create a new application, or just this one. You set the authentication URL, redirect URL to the one on Twitcher, or vice versa. You can also change it whatever you prefer. Then you can choose whatever you need, depending on the authentication token side. I would recommend you looking into the Twitch documentation for this one, because certain scopes require certain stuff like the confidential, etc. And then furthermore, you have the client ID and a client secret. Do know that your client secret is only rendered for you once, meaning that if you want to reuse this in other things or you just want to reuse it later on again, it's recommended to store it somewhere in a password manager or something like that, so you still have access to it. Otherwise, you would have to regen a new token every single time, and then you need to change it everywhere again. So really recommend you saving that token somewhere. So you fill them in, and you can then authorize the editor, which should open a pop-up on your site, on your browser, and log automatically. It might also, for the first time, ask you to log in into Twitch if you haven't, and if you haven't logged into Twitch, it will ask you if you're okay with accepting an application using the scopes, which is the ones you've defined here. So once that's all set, you can see them, you can save them. I recommend you to save them, otherwise it won't fully work everywhere. And doing that, we have only one more thing left, and that's utilities. Utilities, you can see this one as a way to load and save all your current channel point redeems. This is quite nice for streamers, but if you're making a game, it's not beneficial to use this. And the auto load, but big but, I would not recommend you doing the auto load because this is quite it's something nice for the older versions of Godot, for Godot 3, but on newer versions of Godot, you don't really need to do this. We already have the statics in there. You just need to make it somewhere in the root of your scene, and that's it. The outloads give some disadvantages as well. So yeah, that's about the outload stuff. After we've done that, we'll start with the application. First things first, I'm gonna change something in the project settings, and I'm gonna make this work in 1080p. So it's an actual window of a normal stream, for example, or your game. So it's 16:9. I have no clue why Godot actually uses the values they use. They probably have a really good reason for this, but it's just my go-to. You don't have to do this. But then you know why the window might be different for you if you didn't do this. That being said, let's create a user interface. In this case, I'm just going to make a Twitch chat that appears on your screen. Um, we'll start with just reading chat messages, and thereafter we'll add more and more stuff to it. And it will be in separate tutorial parts. So this segment will just be reading events from the Twitch chat, writing a Twitch chat message into your chat. So here is our view. We will add a VBox container, which allows us to do the chat, to make it full screen. And in there, we'll also make labels for the chat messages. But we'll do that via code. We'll save it somewhere. Chats. I mistyped. For context, I am more familiar with C# than Godot script, so I might make some small mistakes in GDScript, just so you have a small heads up. So I will actually first name this one chat, and then we add the script to it. I will go with GDScript in this tutorial for the chat. So it will open for me a rider, but you can also just do this within Godot itself, right? So first things first, which is the most important part of Twitcher, is that you need to set up everything. You'll have to do this by adding, you have actually two options. Either you make this yourself or you go to the Twitch service scene and add that one. This one has a lot of features built in for you. I don't know why Godot doesn't always identify this, but if it doesn't do that, just reload the project and it should automatically figure it out now. Oh, you can also disable the setup if you don't want to see it every single time by just going here. Doop, and it's off. Okay, you are being annoying, which is odd because you have set it correctly. So why don't you want to work? Hey, there we go. Godot is sometimes a bit weird, I guess, with detecting changes, because now it works. But as you see, everything is then set up for you. You have an event sub, Twitch API endpoint, the authentication, which just allows you to do a login, etc., and a media loader, which is useful for loading emotes and stuff like that. What you have in here is your Twitch out settings, which is basically the same thing as you filled in the editor. If you are working on a game, you don't really need the editor thing, then you still have to fill this in manually for you. You then have the scopes. So that's all the scopes you need to listen to, especially for event sub. Then furthermore, we have event sub, which has just the Twitch API in there, and your subscriptions. Although a lot of nodes already do subscriptions for you, like the Twitch chat does. But if you want to do it manually, you can also do it here. And you can choose like, all right, I want to listen to a chat message, for example. And the editor will automatically fill in your channel name and user ID for who's sending it, also from you. And you can toggle between name and ID over there. Then we have the Twitch API. Again, it has this thing, the token is in there, it's automatic. And edit the token allows you to check if your token has been valid or not. Then authentication, again, Twitch auth settings in there. Edit token as well, and the scopes again. It's best to go into the auth to check everything. But you don't always have to use a Twitcher service. You can also just make your own nodes out of it with the Twitcher service if you don't need all the things that are in there. And do know that this is just a scene within the Twitcher plugin. So if you do changes to this, please do it outside of the add-ons folder, because if you want to upgrade your Twitcher, and it's recommended to remove the Twitcher folder and put it in there again. So do be careful with that one. That being said, we put this on the top, and then we go into here. And the first thing we do is Twitch service dot setup instance dot setup. Ah, look at that! It was smarter than me. What this will do is for you, it will start the authentication flow if required. If you're already logged in, it doesn't need to. It's going to start authentication flow and then set up everything for you. After we've done that, the next thing we want to do is we want to listen to events up for chat messages. There's multiple ways on how you can do this, but the easiest way would be if you make Okay, no screen. Is to use the Twitch chat, which basically allows you to do a lot of chat stuff. Or what you can also do is you can listen to an event sub. Listener, it's event listener, yep. Twitch event listener. And over here you can say, for me, listen to the chat messages. I personally prefer to use the Twitch chat one, but I know that a lot of people also just like the Twitch event listener. So it's up to you which one you like. But the working is almost the same. Oops. The only advantage of Twitch chat is you can do more stuff with it, but Twitch service also has the code for Twitch chat to send messages. So it's whatever you prefer. What you then can do is say type data received. You can connect it to your Twitch chat. You can say like on Twitch chat received. Although it will return you a variant, you do know what type it can be by checking the docs or the Twitch code. But basically, we know that this will be a Twitch chat message event. What you can then do, because we know it's a Twitch chat message, we can then write var message event is equal to well, it's is of type Twitch ES channel chat message dot event. Oops, camel cased. Because you know it's an event we get from the chat message received, and then with the message event, we can create a new label. Label.new. Camel cased, yeah, it's camel case, of course. Label, oh come on. .new. We can say in label that the label.text is equal to message event dot probably message. The message, and we want the let's write all along. We can set up the text. Why are you complaining? Field return type can be specified as label. Oh yeah, okay, sorry. We can add a label. Actually, what I still want to say as well is the chat's username. So I want to say that message event dot chatter user name. Then we say plus this, and then we do plus the message. And what I then want to make is that this message is the color of the user. We can go to label, we can go to label setting, make a new label setting in there. We don't have anything yet. We say label setting, not font size. We want the color to be the same as color from message events. Dot is color in there? Yeah, color is in there. This. It's cased. Yeah, there we go. And then we can have the message as a child of this control. Actually, we do want to put it in our VBox container, so we want to make an onReady var chat container is equal to and that's something that's still missing a rider, but they're working on something like that where you can just drag and drop it from the scene there. But we want a VBox container. VBox container, and I think I need to make an enter thing before it, right? Yeah, that's one VBox container. Okay, big screen, and remove this. And why are you complaining? Oh, because you don't need to do this. Cool. And we can specify the type, of course. The VBox container, so we want to do VBox container add child label. So what this would result into is that we can now try it out. Select the current scene. It's going to open it. And whenever I send a message, it will appear over there. As you can see, it's a bit small, but you get the ID behind it. What I now might want to do is to have a small box where I can send messages as either myself or a Twitch bot. So we will slightly change the UI. You also have to change the code for this. But I will add a VBox container in here again for the chat container, I'll make this one unique so I don't have to keep on renaming stuff in the code. And we will have on the bottom, actually we'll make this full size. Oh, this one of course also full size. You will expand, please, thank you kindly. And then under there we will have another, I think I'm gonna make an HBox container where the input field will be and the button to send. We'll also say that you, you will have a container size of, let's say, 7? Yeah, that's a good guess. Maybe 8. There we go. So we have this container for sending messages, this one for receiving. What I might still want to do is add some border around it, but it's only to make it look nicer, I guess. If you want, you can also just put a separator in there just for now. Just a little bit, it's a bit quick and dirty, but it's just to make the demonstration slightly easier to see. So now we have a chat container, a separator, and our input field container. So add an input. Or is that a text field? Line edit. That's good enough for me. You'll take as much as you need, and we'll have a button to send messages. Send button. We'll add some theming to the thing here. We'll say like there's 20. We'll actually make it 50. Theme that on the button, and we'll make the button be a little bit bigger. We'll say that your minimum size, where is it? Actually, if you add the text, it's gonna be fine anyway. Send. Override, gonna up the style from the font size a little bit. 64. It's gonna be a little bit big, but oh well, you will get the point anyway. Let's make this 32. And for the labels that we send, I'm also gonna change the font size slightly because it's a bit small. So label.label setting.font size, let's say also 32. So please see what we're sending and writing and doing. Then also very important is that we instead now work with a percentage sign and we'll use chat container. So we already have this done. The only thing we need to do is we'll need to get the line edit. To make it unique so it makes it easier. And the send button we can hook up with a signal. So we can actually use both for this, that could be cool. So we do pressed. We want to connect this to Twitch chat on send button pressed. And then for the line edits, when we do submit, yeah, but you have a variable. Okay, never mind. I wanted to make it so if you click enter on it, it also does that, but we'll not do it for now then yet. But basically on Twitch send, we would like to get an on ready for the line input. Nope, not send button. Line input is equal to line edit. I'll call line edit then. And you too. I think it's a camel case. There we go. Over here we can say if line edits the text is empty, return. If it's not empty, want to say Twitch service instance send message line edit text. And what this would allow us to do is go into here, us writing something, and just sending send. And it works. We can see it in chat. We can also just make it so it clears the chat in there. So we can say line edits.text is again empty. So you can always have a new chat basically in there, right? Instead of using the Twitch service, which has a lot of cool stuff for you built in, which is really nice, a lot of methods that does things for you, you could always use the Twitch chat, which I mentioned earlier, to listen to and send messages to. But in general, Twitch service is such a nice thing that has everything set up for you. Anyway, so you might just use that one for the more generic and often required things. And it goes from getting emotes to polls to sending chat messages, all thing you need. all in one place. That's it for this part of the tutorial. I hope this was informative enough to get you working up. If you find bugs or you have issues or something, feel free to make an issue within the GitHub. And you're always welcome to join our Discord server, the one from Kani. I will link it somewhere, probably in the description below or in it. Yeah, you'll see it somewhere. Me and both Kani are always there, so we always try to help. I'm also streaming on Twitch on twitch.tv/tempting44, and for Kani, that's twitch.tv/KaniDev. We usually stream together on Thursday and Friday, which are also the 2 days that Kani stream. For I myself, I stream also on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, um, and well, and Thursday. I don't stream on Friday, but I'm co-hosting on Kani's on Fridays. That being said, I also recommend you looking into the documentation of Twitcher. Kind made some quite nice documentation for this. As a quick short view where you can read everything that I've mentioned before, but then as a better guide through via text if this is more of your liking. Um, and every single important note is also mentioned in there. I will also make more tutorials. The next one I will probably be working on is the Twitch bot, because that's also quite an important one. So if you want to not send messages as yourself, but as a Twitch bot, then you would start using the Twitch bot accounts thing. Furthermore, I'll also look into event listeners, also continue on this part. So we will see the events, like someone following will also become there visible in the chat. Same for events, cheers, all those kind of things. And I would like to see you all then in the next video. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.